Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Aaliyah and today we're going to be discussing if books are political. Let's get into the video. If you are not a follower of BookTok or any community that likes to analyze media, this conversation will be new for you. But for those of us who are used to being in circles where people discuss and analyze their favorite genres and media, this conversation is incredibly normal. Today, we're talking about if books are political. Now, of course, this has been going around BookTok, Instagram, BookTube, anywhere people discuss genres and the forms of books. This conversation was brought up after our newly elected president, Donald J. Trump. The book community was in an uproar. There were some accounts saying, keep BookTok from being political. They don't like politics. They want to keep politics out of BookTok. And then there were people who were saying that books are political and there's no way to keep politics out of BookTok. So I'm going to break this video down into two sections. One, the consumer, and two, creator slash author. I believe that a piece of media, in this regard, books, are inherently political. But whether you engage with the political nature of a book or not is going to really depend on if you are what I call an active or a passive reader. Active readers are those who critically engage with a text, question its theme, analyze characters, and think about the social, cultural, and political implications of a book, whereas a passive reader is one who is simply reading for entertainment, escapism, and does not want to think critically about the work or the deeper meanings they may find within the context of the book. For this video, we will define politics as anything related to systems of governance, power structures, and societal rules that influence how people live, interact, and relate to one another. That is political. Let's define politics. Politics traditionally refer to activities, actions, or policies used to gain and hold power in a government or to influence the government. It's about the distribution of power, resources, and within a society, it encompasses decision making processes, policies, laws, and the institutions through which societies organize and regulate life. So now that we've defined active readers, passive readers, politics, and political, we can get into some deeper conversation. A book does not have to state or give direct commentary on politics for it to be political. All it has to do is challenge or reveal some sort of societal norm or force. Our characters in these books can either actively or passively engage with this active force. We come to understand characters by their actions. Why did they shout when this happens? Or why did they lament when this happened? All of those things are moved by an invisible hand. And that is whatever system is taking place in that world. If you are an active reader, like a lot of people are, especially those who do analysis in this space, you will probably approach a book with a critical mindset, looking for deeper meanings, hidden agendas, implications, comparing and contrasting the book to our society and our world and how things function. Active reading is interpretive, right? You bring your own worldview, socio-political context into the reading experience. And in doing so, the book becomes political. Versus a passive reader who might simply consume a story because they like the story. That was me this past weekend finishing Arcane Season 2. And could I sit back and rewatch season one and season two and analyze Jinx? Could I sit back and analyze the two scientists and how their paths diverged but then converged at the end? Could I sit back and talk about how Heimendinger was really right? Humans do mess a lot of stuff up. Yes, I could. Will I? No. I just want to enjoy the story. Sometimes high fantasy books and high fantasy games and genres can get out of hand with how intricate and deep they make the world. And after a certain amount of details, my stomach starts to hurt. So I only consume like a lot of urban fantasy or fantasy books that are set in our real world. And you don't have to think too hard about everything. Those are easier to analyze. Not gonna lie. That could also be a factor. How much mental work are you willing to do to get through this book? As a debut author with their first work ever coming out in 2025, I know firsthand that books are political. And although some books do not discuss government structures, there is a lot of work that goes into writing a good book with great characters, great setting, and narrative. And the reason that you can do that is because your book is actually political. Now, let me explain. As an author, you have a story that you want to tell, whether it be about love, money, a coming of age story, growing up, overcoming, triumphing, pitfalls, whatever that message is you want to convey. Certain themes and ideas and policies and political structures are weaved into the tales because they help develop the story. Whether or not you intend to be political, your experiences, beliefs, and observations will inevitably shape your writing. Even in fantasy or historical fiction, the values and concerns of the time period have political undertones. It wouldn't be a historical fiction just because of the setting. Like, if you say I'm writing a novel in the 1800s, I'm expecting 1800s politics, 1800s setting, 1800s behavior. Now, depending on where you are in the world, that might be different, but there is an expectation even when you write a fantasy novel. What do you think? You think magic, you think mythological creatures, you think wizards, Gandalf, you think uncontrollable power, you think dark wizard. We as consumers have expectations about what we as authors are going to write. If you are an author who is really honing your craft, then sometimes the political nature of the book is subtle. It may be indirect, but it's still woven in there because you, as a person, you have your own set of beliefs, your own morals or laws that govern how you behave. And that is going to affect the things that you write about. So your book has the ability to influence others who actively engage with it. And I think that's what's cool about being a critical reader, actively engaging with the text so you don't miss sometimes what the author is trying to state. If they are a good writer, like I said before, then their subtle use of certain words, tones, crafting the environment, setting those kind of things will help you interpret their message. Unless they just come out and overtly state what they're writing about and they do just that. But nobody really likes a heavy handed work. We should give people a pass. Although books are inherently political, you do not have to engage with them. And you should allow yourself to grow up and you should engage with the type of books in the context that you want to. Does that change that the book you're reading is political? No. Does that mean you walk around unaware kind of the themes that you're reading? Sure. Does that mean you can't engage in deeper and intellectual discourse? Sure. But if you don't prioritize those things or you don't think those things to be valuable, then just read the book and enjoy it for what it is, a piece of literature. For the rest of us that like to engage with books, do so kindly. I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments down in the video. Hopefully, I got my point across. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.